It's time for another edition of Mets Musings.
Hi, this is Ron Darling. This is Skip Lockwood.
Hi, I'm Ron Swoboda of the 69 New York Mets, and you're listening to Mets Musings with Gary Mack.
Now it's time for some New York Mets baseball talk. Here's Gary Mack bringing you the latest news and analysis from Mets Nation and the world of baseball on another edition of Mets Musings.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Mets Musings. I'm Gary Mack and I hope you're all having a very warm and dry Sunday as we're recording this a little bit later in the week than usual, but we had a blizzard hit New York in not a fun time and deep freezing temperatures. So stay inside, stay warm, stay dry, and get somebody to do the snow for you. Don't go out and do it yourself. All right, the baseball talk. They're still talking, but no settlement reached as of yet. Both parties are at least meeting. They met last Monday and Tuesday, and we're going to talk some more, and nothing has come out of it, but the players have made some counter proposals. The MLB has made some proposals. It seems like they're getting a little crack in the deep freeze that they had there at the negotiation. So hopefully, they'll be preparing. You know, we're almost in February. And February 1st is Tuesday, and we'll have about 2 weeks before pitchers and catchers were supposed to be coming to spring training. And so we'll see if that pushes them to reach a settlement quickly. Still a lot of work to be done by all of the teams, including the Mets. So it will be a harried time. It's gonna be nuts. I mean, you still got Carrasco still out there. Conforto still out there as a free agent. Kershaw still out there. There's a couple other names, big names that I can't even remember. There's another big name, but these guys are still out there. Not to mention trades that could be made. Teams are all, planning trades, and I think, they did talking during before the lockdown, and I think that perhaps other teams know where the other teams are and what may be available, what they could offer. It's just going to be a lot of frantic negotiation going on when this is over, and maybe kind of fun to watch as a baseball fan. You never know, all these teams vying for players, extra players that they may need and want, and but we're here to talk about the New York Mets, so let's do that. All right, the Mets have announced officially their 2022 coaching staff, with pitching coach Jeremy Hefner as the only returning member of last year's coaching corps. Many of the new hires had already been reported. You knew who it was going to be, but they just made it official with Eric Chavez as the hitting coach, first base coach Wayne Kirby, third base coach Joey Cora, bench coach Glenn Sherlock, and, of course, Buck Showalter going to be celebrating his first year not celebrating, but will be embarking on his first year in the Mets dugout. Joining this group with two other coaches. One is a newcomer to the Mets organization, and the other is a familiar face. Jeremy Barnes will become the assistant hitting coach, receiving a promotion from his previous role as New York's director of player initiatives. Craig Bjornson will act as bullpen coach, coming to Queens after most recently working 3 seasons as the Boston Red Sox bullpen coach. So that is the new pitching crew, the brain trust, if you will. And a lot of eyes are going to be on Eric Chavez. A lot of speculation. You know, we spoke all last year about how analytics, in my mind, I'm old school, and I think the analytics got into these guys' heads. I think it confused them. They were over analytic. I think I put money on it. That's what ruined Michael Conforto. And now we hear stuff being leaked out after the season about this is the case, and how analytic people, after Chili Davis was fired, and it may have been one of the reasons why he was fired, started taking over some of the hitting meetings and throwing all of this stuff at the players. You have to boil down the interesting and necessary stuff and give it to the players. You can't just give them everything. They can't be up there thinking about everything. I know that sounds ridiculous, but you have to be thinking about hitting, and you have to go up there and saying, I'm going to look for a fastball, and I'll take it wherever it is. If it's on the outside, I'll go to left field with it. If it's on the inside, I'll try to pull it down the right field. If it's down the middle, I'll try to drive it up the middle. You have to have some sort of plan. You can't go up there thinking, well, he didn't throw a changeup, so I won't be looking for a change. You got to be looking for a changeup as well, but you have to be able. It's all about adjustments. So you look fastball and you adjust to everything else. But there was so much information on these guys that they just couldn't. They just got all balled up, I think, and so it'll be interesting to see what Eric Chavez. What approach from what we hear, his approach is probably going to be more similar to Chili Davis than Chili's replacement. So that's a good thing. But we'll have to wait and see. But the Mets have to improve their offense. You know, they get guys on and then they wouldn't know how to hit in either the pressure situations, and not necessarily pressure, but run scoring situations that gave up so many strikeouts because they were looking at the wrong pitches and were getting pitches down the middle and just letting them go and getting strikes. Then they're in a hole, and then it's 2 strikes, and bam, strike 3 comes down the middle because they're looking for a fastball, and he throws him a changeup or something like that. You can't have that. You got to have a guy relaxed. He's got to have an idea what he wants to do at the plate, and let him do it. All right, let's see. Let's take a quick break and be back after this.
Baseball and BBQ, your place for interesting baseball talk, opinions, and history.
Baseball and BBQ, your place for barbecue recipes, tips, and interviews from the world of barbecue. If you like baseball and if you like barbecue, then tune in to Baseball and BBQ. Find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and BaseballTalkRadio.com.
Wouldn't it be great if you could get a PhD in life through baseball? Welcome to Baseball PhD, a tour company for your brain. 30 major league teams, 100 places to see. Let's touch them all as we make the road trip of a lifetime.
Facebook at facebook.com/MetsMusings, on Twitter at MetsMusingsGM, the Instagram is MetsMusings, and on YouTube at MetsMusings Mack. Wish to be a part of the show? Give us a call at 516-619-6341. Okay, and we're back. And what will the Mets do after the break, after the lockout, and after the CBA is all settled? They have to do something with their pitching rotation. They have to add to it. Right now, we've got DeGrom, Scherzer, Walker, Carrasco, and then Peterson and McGill. And Peterson's coming off an injury. McGill's coming off a pretty nice first year, but can he do it again? Will Peterson be healthy? They need another arm in that rotation. GM Epler tells us that they're pretty much don't expect any more big free agents to come, any more surprises, but there could be trades. You could put together a trade, perhaps with the A's. They have a couple of nice pitchers. Cincinnati has a couple of nice young pitchers that they may be able to get, depending upon what you have to give up. We spoke about this in the past. Probably the prime candidates that they would trade would be Jeff McNeil, J.D. Smith, and Dom Smith, J.D. Davis, and Dom Smith. Those would probably be the three main guys that they would look to trade. As far as prospects, they do not want to trade any of their prospects. They stated that. However, in the right deal, one may be moved. Now, who would it be? Well, Francisco Alvarez is going nowhere. We know that. Brett Beatty is more than likely going nowhere. The two left that you might say they may trade is Mark Vientos. Could be a candidate, though they're looking at him for possibly being at third base or left field next year or this year. So he may not be the guy to go either. The last one is Ronnie Mauricio, a 20-year-old at Double-A. He'll be at Double-A this year, and that's quite high. He'll be playing with guys about 4 or 5 years older than himself, and has progressed nicely through the system. Had a very nice year last year, but he's a shortstop. Now, they could potentially move him to second base, but Lindor is going to be here for a number of years, so shortstop is going to be blocked. He's a big kid. They could move him to third, but third base is going to be Vientos or Batty. Probably. So that's kind of blocked. So Mauricio is one of those guys, very talented guys, but he's in a position that's blocked at the major league level, and you don't want to just waste a talent like that. So if you could move him in a big enough deal to bring in a solid arm with some other pieces. JT Ginn is a pitcher that was in lower A last year and might have been moved to Double A at the end of the year, but he was with Brooklyn a good part of the season, pitched very well, and they're very high on him. He may be a guy. Thomas Zapucki, who's at AAA, had a cup of coffee with the Mets, didn't fare too well in the biggies, but that could have been, he was just up. He was out of the bullpen. He wasn't used to it. So he was coming off a Tommy John surgery, so you never know about those kind of things. But that could be another guy that could be available if they wanted to make put a pitcher in a deal. Or he could be one that they look at with the Mets in this season. Either way, they need to do something, and they may need to do something to shore up the bullpen a little bit more and maybe one more bench player. That's what the Mets will have to do, and we'll see how much time they have after the CBA gets signed, if and when it gets signed, and before spring training starts. Now, they could probably push back spring training a week or two, but I don't think they can go much further than that without impacting the beginning of the season. So, we'll see. The World Series odds are out, and according to DraftKings for 2022, the Dodgers are on top. And let's see, followed by the, just lost my place, the Yankees and the Houston Astros. And then the Metsies are fourth in line to make the World Series. And the Blue Jays, the White Sox, the Padres, the Rays, and the Brewers complete the top 10. Interesting enough, Atlanta is number 11. Freddie Freeman's still a free agent out there. So we'll see what the Braves do, too, as well. So the BetMGM lists the Mets in third behind the Dodgers and the Astros. So the Mets are getting some love from the betting community for the World Series odds. So if you're into that kind of thing, there you go. I don't understand anything about odds, or so I'm not going to read. They're plus 1,000 on DraftKings and plus 1,100 with BetMGM. So another quick break, and we'll be back. 516-619-6341. That is the comment voicemail hotline if you'd like to be a part of the show. And drop us a line, leave us a comment or a voicemail, question, anything at all. Call that number, 516-619-6341. Or go to MetsMusings.com and click on that widget in the middle of the screen, and that's a speak pipe. And you can leave a voicemail right through your computer, through your computer's microphone. Or if you prefer to do things the old-fashioned way, send us an email at metsmusings@gmail.com. The Facebook page is facebook.com/groups/MetsMusings. And if you'd like to help out the show, check out our Patreon page. Check out the campaign at patreon.com/MetsMusings. Okay, and we're back and gonna wrap it up. But before we do, congratulations to Edgardo Alfonso, the former Met and former manager of the Brooklyn Cyclones. He's gonna stay in the area. He's gonna be the manager of the Staten Island Ferry Hawks, who will play in the independent league, the Atlantic League. And for those of us on Long Island, you know the Atlantic League. The Long Island Ducks are in it. And now we will have the Staten Island Ferry Hawks. And Edgardo Alfonso will be their manager. The Ferry Hawks will play in Staten Island where the previous Staten Island Yankees played. And if you've never gone to a game there, I advise catching a game. The baseball is a good level of baseball. It's probably between AAA and AA, maybe somewhere in there. But it's good baseball. It's a lot of excitement. And that ballpark has the sweetest, the most beautiful view you'd ever want to see. It's of the skyline of New York, and on the right night, you can see everything, the ferry going over. It's right next to the ferry station, the Staten Island Ferry. So if you're in Manhattan, you want to go catch a ball game or something, and Mets or the Cyclones aren't home, take the ferry over to Staten Island and check out the Ferry Hawks and say hello to their new manager, Edgardo Alfonso. So apparently he reached out to the Mets about returning to the team in some capacity, and they were told they had no room for him. How can you not have room for Edgardo Alfonso? This blows my mind. This is a guy that won the New York Penn Championship with the Brooklyn Cyclones, and then they didn't rehire him. He's been loyal to this organization since he retired. He goes to all kinds of events. He's still an ambassador for the Mets. He's always at events. He's willing to sign. He's one of the nicest guys you ever want to see. And to me, they're treating him like the Wilpons treated players. They're treating him like crap. I don't know why. I don't know who he ticked off in the organization. But he did a fantastic job, and he's going to do a good job with the Ferry Hawks. And it's just a shame that, that he's not in the Mets organization. It's going to be interesting because when the Ferry Hawks play the Long Island Ducks, whether it be in Long Island or in Staten Island, it's going to be fascinating. It'll be two ex-Mets managing against one another. Wally Backman with the Long Island Ducks, and now Edgardo Alfonso with the Staten Island Ferry Hawks. It's going to be great. Great. Imagine the interviews you could get for that. That would be terrific. But I don't know why the Mets dropped the ball on this one, I believe, and I hope you do too. Well, I hope you'll write me if you've got anything to say about the show. It's MetsMusings at gmail.com. Drop me an email with a question, answer anything, or call the hotline, 516-619-6331, and ask a question, a comment, anything at all. Maybe it's something you'd like to talk about. You'd like me to talk about. Maybe there's some guests you'd like to see on the show. I don't know. We'll try to get them if we can. But reading a book now, Valentine's Way, Bobby Valentine's career. Pretty interesting, pretty terrific book. Go check it out. Pick it up. Let's see. Anything else? I think that will wrap it up. So don't forget to hit subscribe and like on YouTube if you're watching this podcast. If you're on Apple Play listening to the audio version of it, or Google Play, or wherever you may be listening to it or watching it, please hit the subscribe button and the like button. That way you'll always be aware of when a new episode is coming out. It's going to be a little sporadic now because there's not a lot of news coming out. Don't want to do a lot of speculating. So we'll get more. We're usually a weekly show, but with this lockout, there's not a lot to talk about, not a lot coming out. So when there is, we'll be here. But until next time, remember to keep the faith and stay optimistic, and let's go Mets. And I'll talk to you next time on another edition of Mets Musings.